And the security downstairs told me that this guy is from, is working in the Gambia ambassador. You can come with him. And when I came with him, he joked with me. He was so pleasant. It was nice. Then he told me to wait. Then he went to his office. Then he told me that there is a lady over there. And he gave me, he gave me the lady name. He said, you have to say Miss Dala. Even if you don't know her, she's gonna help you. Then I was very glad because when I came, I met him. He helped me.
Then you are impressed with his job.
Yeah, I'm not from Gambia. I'm from Ivory Coast, but I want my son to go over there to study. Then this morning he tried to make me,
Himself a recipient of some enviable national honors, which he happily shared with us, Badu is equally satisfied with the efforts of Gambians in the U.S.
Gambians are doing good. They're doing well here. You know, they're doing their business, and some of them they didn't go to school. They try to learn the English and then do business. You know, selling things or buying things or working in a factory or work in all different kind of supermarket. You know, so Gambians are doing good. You know. And then they managed to bring, some of them managed to bring their wives here, and then now they have a lot of kids here, you know.
And even as he lived in America for some 5 decades now, Uncle B also maintains a strong bond with the Senegalese community by serving as a sort of a father figure in the many functions they organize.
These big Marabout people are coming here, and then they come to me, Tonton, saying Mbake is coming, so we want you to come. And then I get dressed and I go. And then sometime when I go, then I always give charity. So now anything I give now, the funny thing is, anything I give, they have to tell everybody that I give, so they give the same thing. So every time I take $100, you know, and they say, Tonton Samba, Gambia, give $100. jox nañ leen $100. So yéen ñëpp leen nag. Jigéen ñi nag ñoo gën a mën a dolli.
Uncle B is also a registered Democrat, with one of those monthly correspondences sent to him by Barack Obama, as heard his views on the much anticipated presidential race due in November. And he confidently told me that Mr. Obama will defeat whosoever challenge him in this year's polls.
I met Obama twice. I met Obama twice, and then sometimes when he'll call my when the election is coming, like somebody's Democrat running in my neighborhood, then he call and say contact Mr. Samba, you know, contact Mr. Samba, and tell him. So I just go and talk to these people, say, you know, you are Democrat, that we all Democrats, vote for so and so. That's it.
You think he can win in the coming election?
He's going to. The people, they don't think so, but I'm telling you, you're going to say Uncle B told me that.
My encounter with Uncle B ended with best wishes for the Gambia and its leadership, saying no matter what happens, the Gambia shall remain his country, his birthplace, and a land he so much adores. Famara Fofana, Grts.
Well, a lot has been done in the areas of youth empowerment. However, a number of institutions are still working towards bettering the lot of the youth folk in the Gambia. In this edition of the segment called The Interview, Modou Lamin Cisse spoke to Future in Our Hands Program Officer on youth empowerment.
You have been working in this country for over a generation. You've been intervening in different sectors of the economy as part of efforts to complement the Gambia government in its numerous development drives. Can you briefly tell us your interventions in youth development particularly?
Future in Our Hands, as you say, have been around for quite a long time now, almost 30 years supplementing government efforts in the education sector. But of late, we've included general community development in our activities, and key among these is youth empowerment. We can now say that we are a major stakeholder in the youth empowerment camp. In doing that, we engage youths through various activities, like we do youth bantabars, where we create a platform for the youth to able to use to discuss issues that affect them. All this is geared towards fighting youth exclusion, you know, in the decision-making processes and in the development processes in their households, in the villages, in the district, in the region and nationally also.
Mr. Kamara, if you look at youth empowerment, it is very crucial. Youth, of course, will be the future leaders, and in fact they are the future leaders. Can you tell us where Future in Our Hands intends to capacitize youths if the country is going to attain that much talked about youth inclusion process in the development activities of the country?
Future in Our Hands, as I said, is we engage the youths so that they are able to come together, discuss thematic issues that affect them. And these areas include the phenomenal backway to Europe. These are issues that, we try for them to discuss together and come up with practical solutions towards countering that. So the negative vices within the youths, it's important for them to come together, discuss them, and try to come up with practical solutions. As I said, the phenomenal backway to Europe, youth and drugs, teenage pregnancy, conflict, these are all areas that we engage the youths to discuss and try to come up with practical solutions in order to improve the situation for them.
Let me take you back briefly to the backway to Europe syndrome, which has been a major problem for most of our youths. I think education is key, because with education and skill acquisition, both technical and vocational, many youths can find themselves employment, because youths are not only expected to be job seekers but also job creators. What have been your efforts in terms of capacity building, in terms of education in particular, or skill acquisition for most of these youths to be employed and live within the country and a decent living?
We've engaged the youths on various activities, as I said. We've been doing skills training, especially the youths that fall within the female sect. We've done a lot of skills training with them, and some of them now have skill centers that they can cling to, and this has really improved the income base of most of those women who are within the youth center clusters. We also encourage the youth to come up with platforms like advocacy groups. Right now, if you go to LRR, there is a group there called Network for Promoting Youth Agenda, and we try to help that group to come up and to take up the youth agenda forward at their own level. You see, because the whole approach is not to give to them, but to capacitize them so that they'll be able to stand on their own. You see, that's the approach we take. If you go to URR, there is another group called the United Front for Youth Development. That all came about as a result of our activities. Whatever activity we do with the youths, the approach is to capacitize them so that they take their own agenda forward. We don't want to be doing service delivery, because it comes back to the same thing. Before you feed me with a fish every day, you feed me how to catch the fish. So that's the approach we are taking.
That approach seems a very effective one, but can you briefly tell the audience what are some of the ways that you have been using to make sure that you give these people the capacity, in order for them to see for themselves what is good for them? Like, as you said, instead of giving somebody fish, you show him how to fish. So what have been some of those mechanisms? Do they include sports and other activities?
As you said, education is key in this. Future Enhance is doing a lot of capacity building, both at community and targeting the youths. And most of our activities now are changing to doing the trainings to what we call continuity of activities. So instead of gender training, we now call it gender continuity, because we make sure that there are institutions in place that can continue those processes. Some of the other things that we do is youth bantaba. Youth bantaba we do where we bring the youth together to discuss thematic issues affecting them. Another thing that we do is advocacy sports. We use sports to reach the youths. And in this, we also attach, you know, advocacy, sharing